This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Scott Howell.
Hello, good neighbors, and welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast, brought to you by the Friends and Neighbors Group of Cleveland and the greater Chattanooga area. My name is Scott Howell, and I'm your host. Now, everybody that's listening for the first time, the purpose of the Good Neighbor Podcast is to bring awareness to the residents of our community of the locally owned and or operated businesses in Cleveland, Chattanooga, and the surrounding areas. Small local businesses are the backbone of our communities, and they need our support. And joining me today is a good neighbor, Jeb Bennett, and his organization called Grateful Sports. Welcome, Jeb. Thank you for being our special guest today on the Good Neighbor Podcast.
Hey, thank you for having me on, Scott. Great to be here.
My pleasure. My pleasure. We are glad to have you. You know, we're here today to learn a little bit more about Grateful Sports and you know what it is that you offer our listeners out there, what you do. But before we jump into the business part, do you mind if I ask a little bit about yourself and your family?
Absolutely. So it's me and my wife, and I have two kids, Stella and Jameson, and then I have a dog, Buttercup.
All right. Can't leave Buttercup out. That's important.
No, part of the family.
Oh, absolutely. All right. Well, we're glad to meet you and your family. And let's just go ahead now and begin to talk about Grateful Sports. Tell us what it's all about.
Absolutely. Great question, Scott. Thanks for asking. It's kind of like a clothes closet, but it's for sports equipment. So I take in new and used sports equipment, and then I donate it back out to youth in the area. So it's all donations in, donations out. So there's no sales or anything like that involved. As long as the sports equipment has a little bit of life left on it, I'd be happy to take it and then donate it back out to youth that are in need of it to be able to play more sports.
Oh, okay. Okay. So is it a kind of a nonprofit organization?
Long range vision, yes. Right now we're still really new. I say me. I just started this when we moved here in May. So I'm still really new, still getting it off the ground. But long range vision, I would love to be a 501c3 nonprofit.
Okay. But for the time being, you're saying there's no sales. So you're not when people are donating the equipment, the used equipment, you're looking for donations, correct?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. And then you're turning around and donate it out to families and people that are in need, maybe that can't go out and buy their own brand new equipment.
Correct. Yes, sir. Or even schools. I don't background check people, but I do keep an inventory of who's getting the equipment because I don't want it to end up on eBay or something like that.
I understand. Okay. Yeah. You want to make sure it's getting in the hands of people that are actually needing it, not just wanting to turn around and make a profit off of it. Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
So when you say you donate to schools, how does that look like? How does that work? I mean,
so I just make connections in the community, and then I start building a relationship with that school, and then when I just periodically ask if they need any equipment for their kids, and then if they say they need a size 3 soccer cleats, well, you know, I see what I have in my inventory, and then if I have it, I take it over to them. So it's very, very relationship based and just building a relationship.
Okay, so you're in that aspect, you're reaching out to the educator and saying, do you have kids there that want to play sports but just don't have the equipment and you'll help them out if you have something that works then?
Right, either that or if they already have an existing team and they don't have the funding for sports equipment and they need to get their kids some stuff to be able to play, that's also an aspect of it as well. Okay.
All right. That's a very noble endeavor. I know there's bound to be a lot of people out there that will really appreciative of what you're doing there, Jeb. Do you get a lot of positive feedback?
I do. There's been a lot of lot of great feedback for that. People saying thank you, that it's a big need in the community, and just a lot of people saying thanks for, doing this. It's
Okay.
been a big blessing.
Would you have, tell us about your journey? What kind of got you involved in something like this?
So great question. So I've always played sports. And then as I got older, I kind of stopped playing, but I still wanted to be involved in sports. And this is something that I've been praying about for a long time. Is this something that I want to do? Is this something I want to start? And when we moved here, I just decided, hey, might as well start now. Started talking to people in the community and found out there was a big need for it. And I was like, well, I'll just go ahead and start it and, dive right in. And it's been really good. Still a long ways to go, but it's been really good in the short amount of time.
Okay. So I understood that you, a while ago, you said something about you had just moved to this area in May. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, welcome to the Chattanooga area.
Thank you.
Can I be a little nosy and ask where you moved from?
Sure, absolutely. We moved from the Kingsport, Johnson City area, the Tri-Cities.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, that's how are you liking Chattanooga?
Oh, we love it. It's a great area. Still learning a lot about the area. It is closer to family, from my family and my wife's family. So that was one of the main reasons to move here, to be closer to family, to be able to be involved more.
Absolutely. Well, when people are listening to your story about how that you're reaching out to the youth that are in need of sports equipment, what might they any myths or misconceptions be about what you offer that you might could kind of dispel in people's minds?
Sure, absolutely. Great question, Scott. I think the misconception is that everybody can afford sports equipment, and that is really not true. And it doesn't necessarily matter if they have a great job. People, you don't understand their background or what they're going through, and so I think it's just a big need for the area of just being supportive of each other and being supportive of the community, and not just having that perception, oh, well, they drive a nice car, they can afford a new baseball bat. Well, we don't know the other things involved in their life. And so just being able to provide that, that bridge that gap between, a kid not playing a sport and being able to play and be successful and, just grow as a person.
Okay. But let's step outside of the little grateful sports for a moment and talk about you and your family. What do you and your wife and children and Buttercup do for fun when you're not out there helping people?
Gotcha. Absolutely. Great question. So we obviously love to go to playgrounds when it's nice outside. If I'm happy for it to start getting warmer so that we can start going to the parks, being outside and not just being stuck inside in front of a TV or something. But we love the outdoors, going out and playing. Me and Buttercup, we do love to go hiking. That's something fun for us to do. And then also I like doing nature photography as well. Going out and going to the less traveled hikes or waterfalls and just sitting and enjoying nature.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you definitely moved to the right area for that. That's for sure. Unlimited
Absolutely.
hiking and the beauty around this area. Can you describe anything maybe in your life that you might consider a hardship or challenge that it, I guess, kind of gave you once you rose above it? Now you can now say you're maybe better or stronger for it, and it's given you the initiative to do what you do?
Great question, Scott. I think the biggest thing for me was talking to a friend. We had been talking about the Grateful Sports for a while, and we were talking about it, and she was just like, it's kind of like being a Christian and chasing God, and you want to chase that aspect of it. And she was just like, chase it, if that's what you want to do, chase it. And so I was like, you know what? That's a great point. I just need to chase it. And it's been great. I wouldn't necessarily call it a hardship, but it was just a hurdle to get over of, well, should I do it or not? And it just, talking to a good Christian friend of mine, she was just like, just do it, see what happens.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. If there was one thing that you could shout from the rooftop and to tell people about what you're doing, that you wish they knew one thing, what would it be?
Be kind.
Good advice.
I think there's a lot of not being kind and grateful in the world today, and I think we just need more of it. It would go a long way.
Kindness and gratitude. That's
yes,
that's two things that we should all work on much harder. Well, I'm sure there's probably people out there on both rims of the spectrum listening to you speak right now, Jeb, and they're thinking, okay, I have sports equipment that my kids no longer use, and I'd like to donate. Or there may be somebody thinking, wow, I know a child, whether it's mine or someone else's child, that really could use some sports equipment. How would they reach out to you? How do they find out more about Jeb and Grateful Sports, whether online or offline?
Absolutely. Great question, Scott. So I do have Facebook. Grateful Sports is the name of the Facebook page. I also have a landing page as well. It's all linked on the Facebook page. You can also reach me at area code 205-281-3893. That's 205-281-3893. You can shoot me a text or give me a call. Be happy to answer any questions. Also, email is Bennett, Bennett, 82 @gmail.com. You can also shoot me an email. And so just hit me up on Facebook or call or go through the landing page as well. And there's all the information is on there of what I do, how you can donate, ways you can help, that sort of thing.
All right. Well, Jeb, it has been our pleasure to get to know you today and learn about Grateful Sports. I'm really thankful that someone nominated you and we were able to find out about your organization, because I'm sure there's definitely a great need for it. Definitely. So thank you for being on with us today, Jeb.
Absolutely. And I greatly appreciate it, Scott, and look forward to hearing from everyone.
To all the good neighbors of the Cleveland and the Chattanooga area, after meeting Jeb and learning more about Grateful Sports, I know he hopes that you'll take a moment to consider the services that he is offering and remember them, and when you need or want to help to offer in those products and services that they provide. And before ending this episode, I would like to thank you all for taking the time out of your busy day to visit with us at the Good Neighbor Podcast. Always remember to support the locally owned and or operated businesses in Cleveland and the greater Chattanooga area. This is Scott Howell with the Friends and Neighbors Group. Everyone go out and make this a remarkable day.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpcleveland.com. That's gnpcleveland.com or call 423-380-1984.